Blake Lively, we see you, girl. Her latest moves are, frankly, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to say it. They're reprehensible. And guess who wore a new suit to the Oval Office? Guess he had to this time. Hot Mics with Billy Bush, sponsored by our friends at LA Golf, and it starts right now. Hot Mics with Billy Bush. Great title. You know it. Well, hello there. We are live on TuneIn and YouTube, and I got some words that I put in that screen. And although I'm looking at a screen right now and it has my face, I have a very nice tan from my trip to Maine, and I say it's quite even. Did you guys see the announcement today that Taylor Swift said at 2:00 Eastern she was coming out with a big announcement? Everybody kind of was like, "Oh my God, this is going to be major. What's going on?" 2:00 Eastern, we're going to have word for you of our latest. I tune in. Nothing. There's nothing. There's no major announcement at 2. The Shiny Bug vinyl collection is available on her website for 48 hours. Huh? Wait a minute. Not like her to cry wolf. The Shiny Bug vinyl collection. Everyone's wondering. Everyone's thinking it's another Easter egg, right? SB, Shiny Bug, Super Bowl. So maybe she's just teasing it further. I don't know. I thought a Super Bowl announcement could come, although it is a little early. If you look back at, it was like September 23rd when they announced Usher, and then late September also they announced Rihanna, and then it was like September 30th when they announced, was it Snoop, Dre, Eminem. So they don't do that now. So anyway, I thought there was going to be something big there. And I also love the timing of it because, you know, Trump has his big live show with Zelensky in the White House. I thought, oh my God, here comes Taylor. She's bumping him off the headline again. Anyway, so because Taylor did not deliver, we are going to cede the floor to the lady from Burbank, California, Blake Lively. You know, I get the heebie-jeebies publicly calling anybody out as a fraud. It's overt. It's antagonistic. I mean, my friend Megyn Kelly, she'll call out anyone she can see. I think she sometimes says, like, who are we going to call out today? It's so good for business. Like Bryan Cranston had a falling out with a friend because the friend voted for Trump. She just lit into Bryan Cranston. I remember one day being like, Megyn, why are you going after Bryan Cranston? Heisenberg? What the hell? But planting your flag, dying on that hill. I mean, Candace Owens, another person who knows how to whip an algorithm, but, you know, she's dying on so many controversial hills, it's kind of overwhelming. You know, it's hard to hold her to account, but, I mean, Epstein worked for the Israeli Mossad. Bridget Macron is a man. These are a lot of hills to die on. By the way, Bridget Macron is not a man. But every ounce of me sees, you know, malicious intent, a heavy-handed, insecurity-fueled power play with Blake Lively and her lawsuit and smear campaign. Frankly, it's her that's doing it, not him, against Justin Baldoni. She's been calculating. She's been thorough, well-funded, and supported by Deadpool. By the way, great husband. You got to give it to him. His wife is a real stinker, and he's holding on. Her CRD complaint, which started this whole thing back in late December of 2024, you know, the CRD complaint, which ultimately months later proved to be all she needed to stick a sock in Justin's mouth and to immunize her efforts. His countersuit gets thrown out because of this effort of hers in the beginning. She was so smart to do that. I mean, you just can't, you have to give credit where credit is due, even if it's evil. That CRD complaint, they're basically saying this woman can say whatever she wants. You can't react. You can't. So your defamation suit doesn't count because what you're doing is retaliating against a woman who has claims of being harassed. It's unbelievable. Totally clipped him. Clipped his wings entirely. So his countersuit gets thrown out. That's an outrage. But the judge allows for the subpoenaing of Blake's texts with Taylor Swift. He says that's relevant for Discovery. That happened 2 months ago. That's a good deal for Justin Baldoni and a terrible deal for Taylor Swift, who's trying to get out of this whole thing. She's got a lot going on in her own world. But back to calculated on Blake's part. Blake was posting girls' nights and sleepovers with young Isabela Ferrer, who was, who played, she's 24 or something like that, and she played the younger version of Blake's character, Lily, in It Ends With Us. But they have sleepovers, they're hanging out together, they're doing You Can Try My Clothes On, oh my God, you can wear my dress, we're best friends, let's go get ice cream together. They had no scenes together in the movie. But the shepherding of Isabel by, her big sister figure, Blake, was for a reason. The reason is, I'm going to need you later. When I put you in the same uncomfortable position, I'm going to put Colleen Hoover in, the author of It Ends With Us, and Jenny Slate. I'm going to put her in one too, and Brandon Sklenar, and everyone else in the movie. All my love and attention will come at a tremendous cost, Isabel, because you're going to lie for me. But it'll be worth it. Because, that's me and Ryan, are going to blow you up. Do you know the difference between explode and implode? I mean, what felt like hitching her reins to a gravy train is really kind of turning into a deal with the devil. Team Baldoni has subpoenaed the elusive Miss Isabela Ferrer 5 times. This is the 5th time through traditional means, because Blake has alluded to her being one of 2 other women who will be coming forward with their own corroborating experiences of SH or misconduct by Justin on the set of It Ends With Us. Imagine Justin's deep sense of betrayal and dismay at the thought of Isabel claiming anything untoward by him. After they wrapped filming, Isabel wrote her producer-director, Justin Baldoni, to thank him. She wrote him an email, and it was laudatory and effusive in praise, or a text. Quote, just got my film developed from when we were shooting, so here's this sweet picture. I also have to say thank you, capital, so much for an incredible experience on my first film. I still can't shake the feeling of it all because it truly was life-changing for me. You are such a wonderful, smart, and sincere director, and you created such a comfortable, safe space for me to feel like I could fully step into this role. I couldn't have asked for a more welcoming environment. It will stay with me for the rest of my life. See you soon, whether in the fall or later. Hope you're doing well. She brought up safe space. She brought up, like, you created the most uncomfortable environment. She brought up things that he didn't ask about. She didn't have to do any of that. She could have said, I had such a great time. Thank you so much for this experience. Bye. But she went on effusively about him. Either she's, meet Dr. Jekyll and Ms. Ferrer. How does Isabella's lawyer characterize these effusive texts of praise from her client to the director? Her lawyer says, well, actually, no. She was just doing what any young actress would do, the prerequisite sort of, thanks so much because she wants to work again, so he discounted everything about it. So Isabela Ferrer's lawyer finally stops blowing off Brian Friedman's subpoenas and responds to Team Baldoni and accusing them of harassment and intimidation. And even better, another attempt at manipulating the press to create havoc on an up-and-coming and talented actress. That's what the lawyer wrote. You subpoenaing my client is intimidation, and you're just trying to create havoc on an up-and-coming talented actress. Why? For what? Not buzzing off after you didn't respond the first 4 times? This isn't a summons for jury duty in a parking ticket trial, kid. Isabela was first subpoenaed by Blake back in the beginning, and she asked that Wayfair indemnify her, if, i.e., cover her legal fees and all that stuff, because she was being pulled into their mess, and they agreed. Okay, we'll cover it. They just politely, reiterated that, by the way, we're subpoenaing you, but we'll still cover your expenses for this latest thing. Now her lawyer accuses them of seeking a quid pro quo. No good deed goes unpunished. Oh, you want to pay her legal fees because you want her to say certain things? Jenny Slate is the other woman that Blake says, we all assume, is the other woman that is going to come forward with her own complaints and be a great witness for Blake. But she's still in hiding, and she knows this. I mean, Jamie Heath, by the way, speaking of no good deed goes unpunished, Justin's partner, the guy who runs Wayfarer Studios, he paid to upgrade Jenny Slate's apartment because she felt it was unsafe for her child. So they spent $17,000 more per month for Jenny Slate to be comfortable. Jesus Christ, what are they doing with these people? And imagine it just keeps going and going. Joining us right now, the talented, up-and-coming internet star Zack Peter of No Filter with Zack Peter. The humble brag is too much. Can you believe her lawyer in there, Zack? The lawyer goes, up-and-coming, very talented. He's like promoting her in his legal document.
I mean, you're right. Blake and Ryan did promise to blow up her career, and they're blowing it into smithereens.
The wrong way. What is the, and then there's, from last week, just a few days ago, of course, Blake Lively in deposition with Brian Friedman. I mean, we get the first little tidbit. I don't know how we got it, but we got the tidbit out of there that she was like, he says, do you still think you're being smeared? And Blake Lively says, yeah, no, I'm definitely being smeared, and you're doing it right now to me. They're confident. How badly would you have liked to have been a fly on the wall there?
Oh. I would have loved to be there for the entire 7-hour deposition. Jeez. I would have gone back and gossiped with the craft services that she hired for the day. Like, I would have loved to have been there, and I would have been all up in it. It's crazy to even when Friedman was questioning her about the smear campaign, she didn't really answer anything because he would ask her, like, what evidence do you have? And she'd be like, I can't answer that because of attorney-client privilege. And it's like, well, the only evidence that you have is your lawyers told you that? Like, that doesn't really add up. Like, are they even being honest with you? Like, how do you have no evidence other than your lawyer's word and you can't answer any of these questions in your own deposition?
Is that what's at the root of the whole thing? Is Blake Lively, like, she just can't seem to wrap her head around the fact that, that much of her bad press is organic? It just seems...
she believes that this has to be orchestrated. There's no way the internet could dislike her this much. It's not possible, Billy. Like, she's she's Gossip Girl. She's the sisterhood of the traveling pants.
Did she talk Isabela Ferrer? They have no scenes together. We talked about this a second ago. They have no scenes in the movie together. So their friendship happens after filming and in promotion and all that. That's when the fastest best friends to ever come together happens. They become super. And do you think it was calculated to the fact that Blake knew all this crap was coming? And so she buttered up this woman and got her so psyched to be in the Blake Lively cabal. I mean, she's a young girl. She watched Gossip Girl with her friends. Yeah. Every episode, every frame. She can quote the movie. She couldn't believe her luck that she's in tight with Blake Lively.
I mean, but you also see Blake Lively taking all of the cast out to dinner. We saw the Instagram stories of them eating out together.
Producer behavior. Like, I'm a producer on the movie. Yeah. I'm not just an actress.
I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had Isabela walk the carpet at Deadpool and Wolverine. So, I mean, whether or not she was always planning to launch this legal warfare against Baldoni, she at least knew she needed her troops to fall in line so that should she ever pull the trigger on it, they were all ready to go and we're going to defend her. Because also, if you break it down to the Isabela piece, right? Isabela wrote and had all these very incredible things to say about Baldoni during production, which is the only time she appears to have had any connection with Baldoni, right? So by the time she becomes friends with Blake Lively, it doesn't appear that Isabela had any more experience working with Baldoni, any communication with Baldoni. So it's just interesting that she had a great experience with him, raves in the EPK interview, raves in her text message to him, which was a bit above and beyond, right? It wasn't just like a thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm so grateful. It was like so many things that she was pinpointing about her experience working with him. And then suddenly she gets chummy with Blake. And then next thing you know it, she's completely turned on Baldoni. And it seems that she's never had another interaction with Baldoni aside from what happened during production.
And so, correct me if I'm wrong, but Wayfair said, look, like before when Blake subpoenaed you, we said, you asked us to indemnify you to cover your expenses and do all that, and of course, we said we would, and like I said, they have a history. Jamie Heath, upped the apartment rent for Jenny Slate, whose child felt unsafe. She felt like her kid could fall out of the balcony. They're in New York, and so he spent $17,000 more a month to take care of Jenny Slate. By the way, that they have texts from Jenny Slate too. When it's Jenny Slate's turn and this is over and they're now looking for her and they subpoena her and she says, oh, you're intimidating and harassing me by subpoenaing me. They're also going to be able to show text from Jenny. And you know what those are going to say? Thank you so much. You're the most thoughtful, people with your Benai, whatever faith that it is, that it allows you to $17,000 or more a month for rent for me. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
These people are like a dream to work with.
The Sisterhood of the Traveling Subpoenas, they're going to have to show up at some point and they're going to have to be accountable for their own words, and it's all going to come to light. There's a reason they're hiding and there's a reason they're running. And it's because they know that the evidence on them is not in support of Blake Lively. Otherwise, they would be handing it over in, boxes. Here are all the text messages. Here are all the emails. Here's all the evidence we have against Baldoni that supports Blake, and they don't have that.
I mean, this is real bullying. It's real
crazy.
Bullying. Like, this is the craziest. I'm trying to think of, I'm watching her. I'm picturing all this again. I'm going back to, August in the movie premiere and all the appearances and the film festivals and I'm seeing this person like steal this movie from this guy. I mean, it's just right down to its basic roots. Like, you're not enough, Baldoni. You're just this little guy. You're not important. I'm taking this amazing piece of IP and it's now mine. She did it. Like, there's no question she did it.
No, I mean, so much so that she had the hard drive in her purse when she went to the book convention that now we found out she flew all of the cast to. So it's like, how are you not going to side with Blake? She's so nice. She's paying for everything. She's flying us everywhere. She's taking us to dinner. She's cooking, cookies we're baking cookies in her kitchen. I'm in her bed, snuggled up with her doing sleepovers. And it's just, it's crazy to think that, I mean, this photo alone is it goes to the levels of manipulation because there's no reason Blake Lively, who's now pushing 40, if young Lily never filmed a scene with old Lily, then there was no reason for them to have this tight of a budding friendship unless there was an ulterior motive. And we're now starting to see that motive play out. And I think Isabela doesn't want to accept that reality because that's a harsh reality to face, right? Yeah. Somebody that I really believed was my friend and a mentor and took me under their wing. The reality is they may have manipulated me and groomed me and, made sure that I was going to be an ally for them. And then you question the motives. And I think that's a harsh reality that she would rather just continue to paint Baldoni as the enemy rather than accept the reality that maybe Blake Lively is the one that may be the real enemy here.
Yeah, no filter with Zack Peter. Zack Peter is with us. We're discussing the topic of the day, the moves, the calculating moves of Blake Lively, which continue to stun me. I always try to go back and be like, am I missing something? Like, there's just no, I'm not to die on this hill to say this, but I'm absolutely positive that she's in the wrong here and that this guy did nothing. I mean, literally did nothing. And the receipts will all be there and will be exonerated. But I think within a lot of actors, and I've been doing this for a very long time, interviewed an enormous amount of, actors, and I think there is an insecurity that lives, not in all, but many, where you want to feel extraordinary. But in the end of the day, if you're just an actor, you memorize words on a page that someone else wrote, and with great emotive expertise, you say them into a camera. And yet the world looks at you like you are the most important thing because we have a big celebrity culture here. So I just always think that Blake has this thing in there that's just, I'm not enough. My husband creates projects. He invents, mobile companies and attaches venture capital money and different investments, and he's made a big name for himself. My best friend Taylor is an amazing creative thing. I'm an actress, and I want to be more than just that. I want to be important, extraordinary, beyond ordinary. And so this was her opening because she related to the material. I got it. She really liked it. And then she just land grabbed.
Yeah, I mean, and just to even the fact that the internet was able to go back and look at all of the layers and look at all of the old interviews and to look at her, what was it, the Forbes interview the Forbes panel that she did, where she talks about needing authorship over her projects and how she, sometimes won't be honest about that, or usually isn't honest about that going in. And then eventually, she ends up having to take authorship because she just needs that to feel creatively fulfilled. And it's crazy how much she's really told on herself, that there's absolutely no reason to question that the alleged smear campaign was just an organic reaction from the public. I think the second the little bump video dropped from Kirsty Flaw, I think that was like, the ember that burned down the Palisades. Like it was the little spark, and next thing you know, it just blew up and the internet went wild with it, which is what the internet does. They find something to harp on.
Yeah.
It goes viral. It has its moment.
It's totally true. I remember, listen, Zach, I lived in a time when I survived a time where the internet was looking for everything they could about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like after your name becomes, they grab onto you, and all of a sudden you're massive clickbait. You're doing huge business for Page Six and everybody beyond and whatever it is, and let's find more and more and more. And by the way, if like I had been any type of whatever, El Creepo or something, that they would have found, believe me. And then for Blake,
they
it's
would have
very
done
easy
to Justin
to find.
Baldoni.
Yeah.
They would have. The worst that they've had on him is that he has a toxic positivity was the worst thing that they were able to bring against him. Out of all the digging, I mean, there are no other women from any other sets that he's ever worked on that have come forth with any sorts of allegations.
Exactly. It comes out of nowhere. So this total fraud, he does a TED Talk about being a better man. He does a podcast dedicated to. He's dedicating hours and hours of research and prep and all of his time and life to something he's exactly the opposite of. You're asking a lot for people to believe something like this. It's just insanity. What about Taylor Swift? I mean, 2 months ago, Judge Lyman says, okay, you can, Taylor's texts are fair game. We want to read them. They might shed light on discovery for insight on what happened on that movie. That's a big thing. But if you're Taylor Swift, you've got to be mortified about that. And do you think that nets a lot?
I think that there's a reason Blake and Taylor didn't want those text messages out there. There's a reason they were both fighting it. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's, a number of things Taylor wants to protect, and Blake was one of the closest people she had in her life because she's the godmother to Blake's kids, right? So I imagine there's a lot but I think just Taylor Swift's silence alone right now in all of this, from the beginning, from the initial drop of the New York Times article and the CRD complaint, Taylor never once backed Blake. And Taylor was very clearly around and involved with It Ends With Us, right? Like her music was the theme song. Her, she was there for that meeting with Baldoni. She saw the casting tape of Isabela. So Taylor did have some sort of influence over the film. And if anything happened, Blake would have absolutely told Taylor and disclosed that to her. So I think there's a lack of that disclosure to Taylor. And I think Taylor also probably knows that, like, maybe Blake blew this out of proportion. Maybe Blake, is weaponizing this in some way. And Taylor's like, I can't back that. I cannot support that. And I think Taylor wants nothing to do with her. And I think that's the most telling thing. You can have all the Jenny Slates and the Isabelas and the Brandon Sklinars, who got to ride off of the dime of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. But Taylor Swift has not been enamored by them with dinners and planes and, red carpets for Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, Taylor Swift doesn't need Blake Lively. So if Taylor Swift is not standing by Blake Lively when they're good friends, there's a reason for that.
I will say, if Taylor Swift, if she says, and if her texts come out and we read them and she says, oh man, is man bun guy this or that. She gets a little shady or snarky about him. Please, everybody, I'm going to say this in advance. Let's forgive Taylor Swift. We all do it.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and say you don't do it. So if Taylor Swift calls him whatever and she's with her friend and they're shit-talking some guy, fine. Everyone does it. But if it's calculating and evil and
Jesus can set you free. It's true. Thank you, Jesus. I decided to run. I almost killed my daughter. I'd rather be dead than to be on medication.
Either they destroy me or I destroy it.
It's just bad dream.
They're killing our ability to think outside of the box.
And I'm almost like a masochist.
I write whatever I want, when I want. It's words.
Yeah, the best thing about being an artist and bipolar, anything you do and say is an art piece.
anything you do or say is an art piece. You can get away with it. Kanye says in here, I'm off my meds 5 months now, indicating obviously a hiatus from the bipolar medication, obviously for bipolar. You see a visibly emotional Kim Kardashian, his ex-wife, confronting him in tears, saying, your personality was not like this a few years ago. Something's happened. Kanye declares, I would rather be dead than be on medication. Either they destroy me or I destroy it. I'm almost like a masochist. I write whatever I want, when I want. It's just words. Trailer also just, touches a lot of themes here. Mental health, controversial public behavior, everything that's gone on in this guy's life in the last 6 years, and it's been a storm. In Whose Name? It comes out in theater September 19th, 2025. Going to be shown on approximately 1,000 screens nationwide in partnership with the biggest theater chains. They're all back. They're all fine doing business with Kanye now. AMC, Regal, and Cinemark chains. Wait, isn't that odd? Adidas, everybody ran away from Kanye. He hasn't apologized. He's, a sworn Nazi. He's peddling the swastika like it's nobody's business. He hasn't backed off. He hasn't said, I'm sorry. And by the way, I looked it up. The chairman and CEO of AMC Theaters, who's going to put this out September 19th, is Adam Aaron. He's Jewish. Big time. He's like big Hanukkah and Passover posting, big social media poster of Jewish holidays. Kanye's a full-blown anti-Semite last time I checked. But all of a sudden, it's all good. I talked to a couple of friends and, I made some calls today just about Kanye West. And I said, is he, so just like that, he's already back? It's good? He said, Kanye never left. This is a guy that almost managed him, really close in there. The chairman of the board wouldn't allow the management, but definitely almost very close, knows him very well. He said nothing that Kanye does is by accident. You got psychopath and sociopath. A psychopath doesn't really know what they're doing. A sociopath knows everything that they're doing, and it's totally calculated. And in this case, that's Kanye West for the last 6 years. He didn't go away. Ever, really. Because what moves the needle in the music business is 12 to 24 kids. And if you look at how many Jewish people live in this country, it's a very small number. We're 2% of our country is Jewish. And you look at all, so Kanye knows that in that 12 to 24 demographic, they're not going to hold him accountable for what he's saying. He's going to get away with it. And this source of mine said, yeah, it was completely calculated. Because what he is a master of, he's a master of shock. Like Madonna, a master of shock. Michael Jackson, in his way, just knew how to, get people's rapt attention. And Kanye's just amazing. Like I said, what about Adidas? What about that partnership? What about those brands? Yeah, they may not be. Does he care? Does he want to go back and get Adidas back? No. Is he groveling to get back? It's not like Tiger Woods, I need Nike back here. I want my Nike deal back. He doesn't want his Nike. He got more press out of falling apart with Adidas. And going back to them would be like a step backwards in his, what he thinks or what he sees as his evolution. So forget it. Doesn't want them. Is he going to sell? Could he sell $100 million in clothing to kids 12 to 24 and all that? Yeah. He's going to make money. He just doesn't, care about that old traditional way. That's for sure. So interesting. September 19th, Kanye West, 6 years of all of those actions and all of those, everything he went through and everything we've seen. This is all behind the scenes. By the way, I have a photograph. Do you see the one? I've never told anyone this. I've never said it publicly. But in late October of 2022, when Kanye was on this bender of anti-Semitic ranting, I got a hold of his phone number and I texted him and I said, "Hey, I can't understand what you're talking about. I'd like to see you." And he started texting me back, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" And we're going back and forth, and he said, "Come downtown, my factory." I said, "When?" He's like, "Now." I got a camera crew, and this is when I was at Extra, and we got a camera crew and loaded up the van and went down there. I went to see him, and there we are in his factory. I'm looking at the photo now. He's showing me something on his phone, but the cameras are all set up. We're sitting in those two chairs, and we talked for, 45 minutes to an hour maybe. And I came back, and whole ride back to Extra, I kept thinking, something's wrong with what just happened there. And I felt in my own judgment that he wasn't well. I felt like I was talking to somebody who was deep in an episode. Like he was deep in a bipolar episode, and he didn't smell right. He was unshowered, and he didn't smell good. He did smell like someone who had been up for days and not changing. And I thought it didn't add anything. You had heard his anti-Semitic ranting at this point. What he told me didn't add to the equation. It just sort of was kind of further gross and disgusting and meant to just, stir it up. So I kind of said to my producers, I said, "Look, it's my recommendation that we don't air it. We don't do anything with it. It's not adding to anything. It's just going to, be more kind of the same old hateful shit." So we didn't do it. But there's that picture there. And it's sitting somewhere. You know me with those tapes that sit around for a little while. 11 years from now, that could come out. And Kanye will become president of the United States, and I'll get fired. Coming up, we launched this show in the... Oh, Steve, you got something?
So, Bill, change the subject, but before we go there, right at the end when we said goodbye to Zack, YouTube went down a little bit. And not just for us, we looked around and went down in a lot of places, but people are saying that we're pre-recorded. And no, we're live right now. So I want to let people, we've been live, but yeah, it looks like YouTube took a hit for about 20 seconds, right, when we said goodbye to Zack.
To Zack, so we fell out all over the place, it did.
Yeah, they're checking back here. The guys are looking, they're like, yeah, other people are saying the same thing. So we just want to make sure everybody who in the chat here we're looking at, yeah, we've been live. We're here. We're
live. We're live as live can be. In fact, here's the proof. I have no idea what I've said in the last 40 minutes. I have no clue. If I wasn't live, I could be watching it. But that's the case. Coming up, we launched this show in the middle of the LA fires. In fact, we were going to, we had no plans to talk about the LA fires, but we ended up getting right into the middle of it. It was devastating. I had 63 people I know lose their homes, and I spent a lot of time traveling around the area, doing my show from there, meeting all kinds of first responders and firefighters and all kinds of devastated folks. And it ended up being, the biggest story for me, obviously, since COVID. But coming up, a moving story about a local Palisades theater, a community theater. Remember, it's Hollywood, but it's really sweet. And they lost everything. But They're on their way back, and this takes time. But I actually did tape this segment while I was in Maine last week, as I thought, I would be traveling today, but then my schedule changed, so I'm here. But that is coming up. First, I want to tell you, we are proud to have our sponsor, LA Golf, on every single show. Hot Mics with Billy Bush is sponsored by LA Golf, the most technologically advanced golf gear on the market. LA Golf is here and on the scene to disrupt the game in partnership with Bryson DeChambeau. They've made the first ever driver with a face and shaft that match your swing speed. It's unbelievable. The result is Bryson's curved club face technology. It cures, slices, and hooks. Believe me, it's so fun to be good at golf, and it really is miserable to suck. And they've really made a big dent in the sucking part. You'll hit your ball straighter, farther. LA Golf is changing the game with the most technologically advanced golf products on the market. Take it from me. I play too much. Take the swing with LA Golf today. Don't miss a second of the action as well with TuneIn. We got 100,000 stations globally here at TuneIn. We are live on TuneIn. All the NHL games, no blackouts. Here's my suggestion. Go to tunein.com/premium and sign up today to unlock every single advantage. Yeah.
Our house is gone.
There's one house that's not gone. It's in the middle. I don't know. It's not yours. I think yours is gone. Like gone. The whole neighborhood is absolutely devastated.
Like razed. Like it's just.
No. It's like a bomb went off. It's like a movie. It's like a terrible movie starring Jake Gyllenhaal. It's like awful. I'm so sorry, buddy. I love you. I'm so sorry. You've been through so much with that place. That's footage I took just the day after the LA fires roared into the Pacific Palisades. I wasn't far away, but the next day I drove up in my car with my camera crew to film our television show that night, and the devastation was just unheard of. We're not even a year out. It's just been 9 months. Welcome back to Hot Mics in partnership with our friends at Venbrook Insurance. We're shining a light on the spirit of Los Angeles and keeping in our hearts those impacted by the horrible fires last January. Our community's response has been nothing short of inspiring. People have issues with the politicians, but not the people. Venbrook's Forward LA initiative discovers stories of resilience, recovery, and the unwavering support that proves we're not going anywhere, and the victims of the Palisades and Altadena fires are not forgotten. We are here for you. Venbrook's Forward LA initiative highlights those communities through shining light on the small businesses that fuel them with love, culture, and entertainment. Phil Bartoff of the Theater Palisades is joining us right now. The theater was affected right off the bat. Day one, it came right in. And I'm so sorry, Phil. Have you gotten used to it yet?
It's difficult. No, I suppose is the shortest answer.
It just came right in. The fire came right in day one and just ripped the building apart.
The area where we're located, Temescal and Sunset, across the street is Palisades Charter High School. The flames came down off the hillsides, and our insurance adjuster estimated that the heat blast that hit our building was in excess of 1,300 degrees. So it was unlikely that a frame stucco building is going to survive that. And as you're showing pictures that we've provided, it didn't. So the whole thing went to the ground. And I was in the insurance industry for 40 some odd years. And the combustible load inside the building, any theater building, it's pretty decent. And even though we had some partial sprinkler protection, it wasn't enough to protect or deflect the flames. So it just went to the ground.
Theater Palisades is such a vital, part of the community. When did you start it? Why did you start it? What was it before the fire?
Well, the history of the theater goes back into the early 60s when 3 screenwriters got together to start putting on their scripts so they could hear them acted out. And from there, it became more of a community endeavor. And for many years, we were performing at Rustic Canyon Rec Center. And then a group of people got together and said, we need to put up a purpose-built theater building for ourselves. So we opened the doors in 1988, and we were performing, producing 5 plays a year, 1 musical, 4 non-musicals. Our very, very successful children's program has been producing 2 to 4 shows a year, given the year. And, you know, it was all humming along very nicely until January 7th. And the irony of that was we were supposed to open on the 10th to start our 2025 season.
3 days before opening the new season.
Yeah. So
and the fires strike.
Yeah.
How have you kept the programs going?
The 2 programs are a bit nomadic at the moment. Happily, our children's program, thanks to their director, Laura Gantz, was able to locate at Revere Middle School. So they've completed their 2025 season there. At the moment, we are in rehearsal to put on 9 performances of the second play of our season, called The Wisdom of Eve, which is the stage version of the movie All About Eve. And plug for myself, I'm in it. So, yeah.
I hope not playing Eve.
No. We have a very, very talented member of our actors troupe who is performing Eve and Margot and everything. So
Blue Door Theater right there, Venice Boulevard, for those in the area. And you can see that there's the tickets are on sale, and it's coming up September 5th to September 21st. Theater Palisades just marches on with incredible resilience. Phil Bartoff is with us, who found the theater, runs the theater.
I didn't found it.
Sorry.
I'm president of the board.
You're president of the board. And how many board members? I understand so many lost their homes as well.
Approximately a third of the board. We have 18 board slots, and about 6 people lost their homes. And others within the Theater Palisades community as well. So
and what is the rebuilding prospects? Where are we in that process, and can you do it?
Where'd you get that picture? So our insurance company has been very good to us. We're not expecting to, once all of the claim aspects are completed, we will probably be short of what it will take to rebuild. So we had a 6,600 square foot facility. People have been talking about use $1,000 a square foot as an estimate, and that puts us easily $3 million shy of that number.
Theater Palisades, Phil Bartoff has been with us. He's the president of the board. He's acting in the play. It is the 5th to the 21st September. You can buy tickets on the website, which you will see on our screen right now, and make a donation there to help the programs keep rocking on. We thank Venbrook and its Forward LA initiative for introducing me and our Hot Mics family here to small businesses all across the Palisades and Altadena that we will no doubt support in their rebuilding efforts. So always stay safe during the unexpected, and visit our friends at venbrook.com/hotmics to get connected with an insurance expert for free for you. Phil, it's been an honor talking to you, and we support you, and good luck with the production. And can't wait till the big building is back and everything. It'll happen.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Amen. Thank you, brother.
All right.
Moving stuff, and that is it for us. So thank you for watching and listening to Hot Mics with Billy Bush, presented by our friends at LA Golf. Back tomorrow, 10 Eastern, with Morning Mics on YouTube only, and here on YouTube and TuneIn every Wednesday, every Monday. Bye-bye. Hot Mics with Billy Bush. Great time.